You don't even notice when it starts. You're in the shower, or lying in bed, or just walking somewhere familiar, and then, without warning, you're not really there anymore. You're in a conversation. Not a real one, but it feels real. You're explaining yourself perfectly, saying everything you wish you had said, winning arguments that already happened, replaying moments, except this time you're in control. And when it ends, when you come back, there's this strange feeling, like something important just happened, even though nothing actually did. So let's talk about what this really is, because this isn't just daydreaming. It's deeper than that. You're not imagining random things. You're building structured emotional simulations. Your brain is writing scripts, casting people, designing outcomes. You imagine finally being understood, finally being respected, finally saying the exact words that change everything. Or sometimes it goes the other way. You imagine things going wrong, awkward moments, conflict, rejection. Or it's 2 a.m., you're lying in bed, and your mind starts drifting into something darker. You imagine losing someone you love, standing at their funeral, as if it already happened, and you rehearse it again and again and again. Here's the key. These scenarios aren't random. They follow patterns. They keep circling the same themes: validation, control, regret, fear. Which means your brain isn't escaping reality. It's trying to fix something that reality left unresolved. There's actually a system in your brain for this. It's called the default mode network. It activates when you're not focused on the outside world. When your body is still, your mind starts moving. For some people, it stays quiet. For others, it never really turns off. Not just wandering, but constructing. In psychology, this is called mental simulation or counterfactual thinking. Your brain is running alternate versions of reality. What if I said this instead? What if I try this next time? What if it goes wrong? It's not trying to distract you, it's trying to prepare you, like a rehearsal before a real performance. But here's where things shift. At some point, the rehearsal becomes the main event. You replay the same conversation so many times that your brain starts to feel like it already happened. You imagine success so vividly that real effort starts to feel less necessary. You process emotions in your head instead of expressing them in real life. And slowly, without noticing, the simulation starts replacing action. Not because you're lazy, but because your brain believes the job is already being handled. There's another layer to this, and it's not about thinking, it's about control. In real life, you don't control outcomes. You don't control how people respond. You don't control timing or misunderstandings. But in your mind, everything is controlled. You say the perfect thing. People respond the right way. The moment unfolds exactly how it should. And your brain loves that, especially if real life has felt unpredictable or frustrating or unfair. These simulations become a place where you finally feel in control. But that control comes with a cost, because your brain doesn't fully separate imagined emotions from real ones. When you replay something painful, your body feels it again. When you imagine conflict, your stress response activates. When you create a perfect outcome, reality starts to feel disappointing in comparison. And slowly, a gap forms between your inner world and your actual life. And the bigger that gap becomes, the harder it is to engage with reality. Because reality is slower, messier, unscripted. So the question isn't, how do you stop? Because, honestly, you probably can't. And more importantly, you don't need to. The real question is, how do you stop living there? First, learn to catch the loop. Not aggressively, just notice it. The moment you realize you're deep inside a scenario, that awareness alone starts to weaken it, because now you're choosing instead of drifting. Second, externalize it. Your brain keeps looping because something hasn't fully processed.
So give it somewhere to go. Write it down. Not perfectly, not analytically. Just get it out. Because when thoughts stay inside, they repeat. But when they're expressed, they settle. That's why something as simple as writing can feel like a relief. It completes the circuit. Third, ask yourself one question. Is this helping me act or helping me avoid? Because both can feel the same. If the scenario leads to real action, a conversation, a decision, a step forward, then it's useful. But if it keeps repeating without action, it's not preparation anymore. It's protection. And protection feels safe, but it keeps you stuck. Fourth, return to something real. Not mentally, physically. Feel your hands. Notice your breathing. Look around you. Your brain shifts out of simulation mode when your senses come online. That's how you come back. Not by force, but by grounding. Here's the simplest way to understand all of this. Your mind is not your enemy. It's a simulator. It's trying to prepare you, protect you, help you process things that never fully resolved. But it doesn't know when to stop. That part is your responsibility. Because those conversations in your head, they can feel powerful. They can feel meaningful, sometimes even comforting. But they are not your life. They are drafts. And if you stay in drafts forever, nothing ever gets published. At some point, you have to step out of the simulation. Say the imperfect words. Have the real conversation. Take the step that doesn't feel fully ready. Because clarity doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from entering reality. You've spent enough time rehearsing. Now the real question is, when does the real version begin?